name is Ron Seaboyer. I'm an alderman from the city of Melrose. In my occupation, I maintain a lot of school districts. I maintain a lot of communities. Just recently, we've been installing quite a few security systems in the schools. I'm amazed how many schools there are that do not have a real security system. A lot of times they'll press a button, the door opens up, you walk in, before anybody in the office can see that visitor, they're going down the hallway. Mayor, please check your school systems, how they supervise visitors. You might be amazed how many people can just walk into your schools. Also, being in the city of Melrose, we are very conscious of the budgets. So I think before you put police officers in every single school, just tighten up your security systems. That's it. We haven't had any problems in Melrose, but we have been touched by gun violence in Melrose. And every time I hear something, I think of your son. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ron. Ron is one of a number of officials that have joined us here today. Anne Marie Crowell, who joined me at the State of the Union address, is here somewhere. I wanted to acknowledge her and thank her. She had an unfortunate incident. Hi, Anne Marie. She had an unfortunate incident in her family as well. I'll speak a little to that in closing remarks, but Superintendent Catherine Latham was here, school committee member from Lynn, Charlie Gallo, John Ford, school committee member from Lynn, Brendan Brighton, as Lynn City Council, was here, and Wes Slade from the Beverly City Council, the Vice President there. You have the distinction of being the final word from the audience.
My name is Monique Hamzy. I'm a concerned mother, and I'm with Moms Demand Action. I think this is such an important conversation, and it saddens me that it's so difficult to have. I have a question for John Rosenthal. What will happen if new common sense gun legislation is not passed at the federal level?
Well, yeah, you can call it rhetoric, but we have the equivalent of a 9/11 attack every month and a half in America. Over 3,000 people die from firearms. So every day 87 will die that Congress doesn't do something. And if we wait 2 years and maybe we can change Congress over this issue, I mean, after all, I mean, think about it. The fiscal cliff, the debt ceiling, I mean, yeah, they're important. They don't result in 87 dead Americans a day. And Congress is saying that a background check will be a hard vote. But don't count on military-style weapons, don't count on large ammunition clips. We can't even count on a background check. So if we wait 2 years and try to change Congress over that, that is 60,000 more dead Americans if we don't act.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody on the panel that feels that they haven't had an opportunity to say what might be on their mind before we wrap up? If anybody has any final comment, I'm perfectly willing. Would you like to say?
Hi, I just wanted to tell people, if you go on the Mayors Against Illegal Guns and look at that website, because it's very informative, and if you believe that our gun laws should be fixed and fix this broken background check system, then you can do it on there. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else who wants to make a statement on that? If not, then District Attorney John Blodgett.
Thank you for coming today. Look, this is a polarizing issue and always will be. And I'm glad that, we really didn't have this turn into a vengeful meeting. People have very strong emotions. That's what we're about. I said when I opened my comments today, I don't have the answers. But I know what I see every day. The gentleman from Saugus mentioned the Bartley Fox Act. I wish that our judges were a little bit harder, quite frankly, than the sentencing. But gun violence in our communities is a real scourge. And we need to do something to better protect our lawful citizens. Nobody in this panel today talked about taking guns away from lawful gun owners. Nobody in this panel today talked about abridging your Second Amendment rights. What's important, at least from my perspective, is that we have to do something to better protect our children. I started my comments today about the Whitey Bulger situation, and to me, I'm still astounded that that person who's been chased by the FBI for 16 years, number 2 in the most wanted list, bought weapons all on the run. we need to address that on a national level. I can't do it as district attorney, I'm not a legislator, but that's just one issue that has to be addressed. I'm glad we kept it civil. We can all agree to disagree, but I think we're not going to come to a solution. It's not going to happen in Congress until there's a groundswell and hopefully some consensus by the people of this country, the citizenry, that live here every day. So thank you for coming. Maybe more questions were raised than answers. Nobody has the magic answer, but we've got to keep having this discourse. It's just as important as any other issue. We try to come together. Don't forget, I remember a day when people could smoke in airplanes, and that was okay. And when seatbelts, came along, that was a problem for some people. This isn't about putting more on your back. This is not about having you feel that you're being burdened unnecessarily. It's about trying to have common sense solutions. It's only going to come from the citizen. That's where it comes from. So, again, I don't have the magic answers, but I certainly have plenty of questions. I need you too. So thank you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. And I hope, to some degree, you felt this was a useful dialogue. Thank you. And I want to thank all the panel members as well. Thank you for being here today.
Still the best district attorney out there. Thank you very much, John. And thank all of the panelists for their contributions here today and for giving your time in the afternoon for our 6th district conversation. And I want to thank everybody in the audience because I know that people came in here thinking that it was going to be sides. In fact, sometimes I heard people mention our side or their side. I didn't hear anybody speak today from any angle or any opinion that isn't for safe neighborhoods, safe schools, and safe families. And I think the trick here is to try and get everybody from every perspective to focus on that and to help us find out the best way to do that. The district attorney is right. We started off the premise of this whole afternoon by reminding people that we're not trying to delegitimize the Second Amendment as interpreted by the United States Supreme Court. That has been decided. That's not our nature or our inclination or desire. But that court was very clear about saying that, there are some limitations that you as a society may want to put on that right. So that, we find out what is the best way to have carried weapons, so that they are not dangerous to the community or to someone's self. What's the best manner to go about doing that, and what is the purpose on that? So we are trying to get to that point, and I think if we can get from the feeling threatened point to the contributing to the answer of how to make people safe in their lives, and their families, and neighborhoods, we'll be better off. 31,000 gun deaths in 2010, 62% suicides, 36% homicides, 2% were unintentional. There were 34,000 motor vehicle accidents. So it's a big number compared to what goes on. We can't stop all of them. Hopefully we can stop as many as we possibly can and make everybody's household safe. I spoke earlier of Anne-Marie Crowell, who joined me down in Washington for the State of the Union address. Anne-Marie, I suspect you won't mind if I tell the story, but Anne-Marie has to look out her window every morning to her neighbor's house, where she can see the very room where her son went on a Christmas Eve not too long ago to join his friend. Got a call from his sister telling him it was time to get home for the family gathering, hung up the phone, and his friend was showing him his mother's gun. Legally purchased. The mother was a legal owner, had no intention of doing anything unsafe, but the son had somehow got the gun, and then he shot it. And Anne-Marie's son, his 12-year-old son, is no longer with us. Those are the types of things that we should be trying to prevent. One thought that I have on that is, if we could get the technology down that would personalize handgun use, it would be a benefit to the people that have the gun lawfully and want to use it safely, as well as the people that might become victimized by it. Technology exists that can be perfected. We should make sure, and I think we're going to make sure, that we have guns built up to that standard so gun owners can feel comfortable that they're not putting people at risk as they enjoy their own rights, and the rest of society feels at least we're moving in the direction of being safe and secure to the extent that we can within the constitutional bounds. Thank all of you again. I think largely it was a civil afternoon, and people got to express their opinion. I thank you very much for keeping it that way and for sharing your afternoon with us, and I appreciate it. Thanks.